So I was sharing this, and it was a group of all guys and me at the table, and sharing how I really wanted to work with this group, work with these guys. And one of the guys across the table just looked at me. He said, "Laura, you need to write a book." I said, "Really?" "Yeah." Everybody else chimed in. Welcome to Down There, a podcast dedicated to pelvic health and wellness for men and women. Hey there, welcome back to the podcast Down There. This is Laura McKaig, your host, and I'm going to be talking today a little bit about one of my interests, and call it a hobby that actually became part of my physical therapy practice. And that is writing. Yes, writing. Now, I know that might be a little out of vogue at this point. I know at the time of this recording, there's a lot of focus on AI, I can't even say it. ChatGPT is taken over by storm. And people wondered, what's the big deal about writing? Well, let me tell you about my experience with writing and why I enjoy it and how I have used it to help more people in the pelvic floor therapy area. I wonder if part of my interest is genetics. My mother is a writer, and she's a great one. She really enjoys it. And I've always enjoyed the process of writing. She thinks that maybe it's a little bit in the genes. I don't know, but I'll take that, and I take that as a huge compliment. I've always enjoyed writing, especially writing by hand, but I never really considered writing a book until about the year 2019, or no, it was 2020. I was at a mastermind retreat for my business in Jamaica, and it was a wonderful experience. And during that time, we were at round tables of groups of about 8 people. And we were talking about what we really wanted to do and how we wanted to get our message out about whatever our specialty was. And I really felt led to help people after prostate cancer or prostate cancer surgery, but I really didn't know how. So I was sharing this, and it was a group of all guys and me at the table, and sharing how I really wanted to work with this group, work with these guys. And one of the guys across the table just looked at me. He said, "Laura, you need to write a book." I said, "Really?" "Yeah." Everybody else chimed in. "Yeah, you need to write a book." I'm like, well, that's a good idea. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Well, easier said than done. That idea sat on the shelf for about, a couple years. And I thought about it. I even had the first chapter in my mind for a while. But what really got it started was a very sad event. It was after COVID, and one of the co-founders of a prostate support group that I belonged to, I helped out with, and I considered him a friend, was dying from the effects of stage 4 prostate cancer. And he was in hospice at the time. And it was still in the middle of COVID. And so they had a car parade for him. And I remember sitting in my car and waiting in line. And as I approached where he was, his bed was outside in an area where people could greet him. And as I was sitting there, I just thought, I've got to write this darn book. I've got to do it. And the next week, I started writing it, and he passed away very shortly after that. So I dedicated the book to him. Caesar Blevins, Big C, wonderful man, wonderful influence. But that is what it took to get me started writing the book. And it was a hard journey, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the process. I would sit out on the deck in the morning when it was nice out, and I would write for about an hour a day. Sometimes more, sometimes less, but about an hour a day. I tried to stay consistent with that. And I wrote it in hand. I wrote it freehand. Because one, that helps your brain remember it better. But two, it's just my style. I enjoy that. I enjoy that process of putting pen to paper, literally. And so after revision, thinking about what do you include in a book, because that's different. That's a different message than treating someone in person. That was a challenge. And I am a perfectionist. And so I had to let go of a little bit of that. Long story short, about 2 years ago, I was finishing up the book. I had basically the draft done and it was ready to be formatted. My husband was helping me with that. And we went to Minneapolis for a vacation, and he ended up in the hospital with needing his gallbladder taken out, emergency surgery. So we spent 4 or 5 extra days that we had not planned for in the hospital it was St. Paul, Minnesota. I just had my laptop with me, and so I used that time to finish formatting the book, getting it ready for publication. And then I got together with a good friend who was also a prostate cancer survivor, but also is an artist and does cover art for books and illustrations. And so I said, "Hey, Russell, can you help me with this?" He said, "Sure." And it was great getting his insight as someone who's had prostate cancer, who has also been through physical therapy, because he literally read the book and was able to write the foreword and say, "Hey guys, this works," because I have literally gone through it myself. So we came up with this. Piss Off. Literally controlling your incontinence after prostate surgery. And I added the literally at Russell's suggestion, because that's literally what guys are wanting to happen. They want to have control over their urination. They want the pee to stop. When they want it to stop, they want that off switch to start working again. And so the book was completed about 2 years ago. And it's available on Amazon. If you want to check it out, it's in both paperback form and ebook form. It is for any man who's had prostatectomy or prostate surgery, such as TURP or anything like that, who's struggling with incontinence, and either they haven't been referred to physical therapy, maybe they've tried it and it didn't work, or they just don't want to go in for therapy. This could be a good resource. It's not the same as in-person physical therapy, but I think it's a very, very good option if you don't have access to in-person help. So I hope you check that out. Like I said, check it out on Amazon and see if it's a good fit for you. Maybe you know someone in your life who could benefit from this. Another suggestion, buy one for your doctor. They love the title and they find it really helpful because they are often looking to find something to help their patients with after the surgery, but they just don't know. They don't know about pelvic floor therapy. So you can educate them by handing them a book like that and giving them a good laugh when they see the title, but also giving them some good sound information. This book was probably the most challenging writing I've ever done, but I really enjoyed it, and I have some ideas in mind for book number 2. I would love to hear your comments on that. If you have an idea for a book that would help you, or that you would like to see but you haven't found yet that is related to pelvic health, drop it in the comments below. You never know, you might spur a new idea in me and be the reason why I create a new book. I also like writing blogs, letters. Yes, I still write letters, not very often, but I enjoy it. It's a wonderful means of communication. It still works. It's still around. It's not subject to any algorithms, and it just fits my jam, and it just fits my style. I like other things, but I wanted to focus on writing today and just share why I started it, why I wrote the book, and plans I have for future writings. Again, if you want to be part of it and offer some suggestions on that, I would love to hear those. Drop them in the comments below, and I look forward to reading them. And I look forward to starting at the right time the next book. So thanks for watching this episode. We'll see you next time. Thank you for listening to the show. Drop in a comment and let us know how you liked this last episode. Do you have questions, or do you want to connect with us further? Perhaps you're ready to take that next step. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Pelvic Connection with Laura McKaig PT. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Laura McKaig PT, or visit our website at www.pelvicconnection.com to discover our online programs and resources, or how to work with us in person. Here's to your pelvic health.